Welcome back. Today I'm taking the train from Everett, Washington to Vancouver, Canada. Now I've been to Vancouver a decent amount of times, but never by train, so this will be an interesting experience. Everett is a city just a little north of Seattle. I came up from Tacoma to meet my friend who lives in Everett and take the train from here. Obviously, it being further north, it's a little bit closer to Canada. Here you can see the route this train takes. Going southbound, it would go from Everett down to Edmonds, Seattle, Tukwila, Tacoma, Olympia, and so on, down to Portland, Oregon, and then down farther into California. But I'm going north, so the next stops will be Stanwood, Mount Vernon, Bellingham, and then Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, the final destination. Well, in the wise words of Johnny Cash, I hear the train a-comin', it's rollin' round the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. On that note, let's get on board. And we're on our way on this gray and gloomy late winter day. At this speed, I figured we should get there sometime early in the next decade or so. I thought about getting out and walking for a while, but I didn't want to get too far out in front of the train. Well, I wouldn't exactly call it the Shinkansen, but it did get a little bit faster. At least a respectable speed. Here we are heading through Samish Bay. Which sounds like something I might like to put peanut butter and jelly on if it didn't get soggy. It's actually a body of water just a little south of Bellingham, Washington, that connects to the Strait of Juan de Fuca, then out into the Pacific Ocean.
In their seats with their passports out, open up to the picture page. If everybody's ready to go, that inspection should only take about 10 minutes. Alright folks, Bellingham, Washington, coming up next.
Now we're coming up to Bellingham, Washington, which is the last stop before Vancouver. No more stops until after crossing the Canadian border. And this body of water here is called Teddy Bear Cove. If you go out in the cove today, you're sure to have a big surprise. The city of Bellingham will soon appear right before your eyes. We've been on this train for less than an hour. My, how time sure flies. 'Cause that's the way the Amtrak goes to Canada.
No, literally.
Come here, let's see. Anna, you can see it from...
And here we are pulling into Bellingham, the last city the train stops at on the American side before crossing over into Canada. And this guy gets on board to check our passports. I will definitely say, just like flying into different countries, coming into Canada is quite a bit less of a pain in the butt than coming back into America. It was a simple and straightforward process. Going into Canada is no big deal, but coming back was a little bit more of a pain, though I've been through a lot worse coming back into America into airports. Most of the way on the train going through northern Washington is quite pretty, but one thing I will definitely say that I like better about driving into Canada is stopping at Peace Arch Park, at the border. There's a cool big white arch and murals that say welcome to America and welcome to Canada, and it says children of a common mother at the top of the arch. It's pretty cool looking, and you can walk across the border into the other country. On the train, you just go right by. I'll definitely have to do a video sometime at the border. Now, the Canadians thought this rock was cool enough to name their town after. Different strokes for different folks, I suppose. To Canadians, it rocks. And now if you'll peer over here, you'll see this is apparently Canada's longest pier. Now that's something interesting to see and hear.
Canada's longest pier. Some people out and about.
I believe that little peninsula of land out there is Point Roberts. If you're not familiar, Point Roberts is a really unusual place, just because of its geography. It's a little piece of land that juts out into the water, and it's part of America, but it's surrounded by Canada. And you can't get to any other parts of America by land without going through Canada. Supposedly there's supposed to be a bunch of seals out here. I'm not seeing them. Maybe they meant grass. I'm seeing that. Well, if you thought it was fast earlier, now that we're in Canada, we're really ripping along. Once you convert the speed into kilometers, boy does it seem impressive. I'm guessing about 1 per hour. And I'm so excited to see these containers, I can hardly contain myself. Alright, buckle up, folks. I'm all for going on roller coasters and going fast to a point, and having fun, but there's gotta be limits to this. This is just plain dangerous. We are finally now in Vancouver, and pulling up at breakneck speed. Whoosh! We're almost keeping up with the great-grandmother's wheelchair races. Whoa. There's downtown Vancouver coming into view.
I'm on my way.
What country am I in again? Oh, Canada. Exiting the train station. Welcome to Vancouver.
A Canadian goose in Canada. You're home.
Well, we've arrived. Thank you for joining me on this little train journey. Stay tuned for more adventures coming up. After all, you should know it's good luck to watch me interact with the Canuck.